Yo, what's up everybody? I'm back, Kobe Cheese here for another high elo commentary of a ranked game. I think my last game was definitely not a ranked game. It was probably a normal after I checked on it, so whatever. Can't win them all, but this one is definitely going to be a good match. You've got a lot of no names here. Don't Mash Me, Afromoo, Kenikth, those I definitely know. We've got Kenikth, the odd one, Special, insert Smurf here. Really good names, so this is a super high elo match. Could be a really good game. Definitely excited to be doing a commentary of this one, so hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. Bottom lane, we've got a Draven and a Blitzcrank. Could be a pretty nasty kill lane. Draven does a ton of damage once he has his boomerangs going. If he can get two of those set up and spinning, and he gets a nice little pull off from that Blitzcrank, that's going to be a really sick play that could take place. But at the same time, as a lot of you guys do know, Graves combined with a Leona or a Tarek does a lot of work against his lane as well. So it's going to be pretty scary for both teams. We're going to have to see who actually comes ahead. And there's a gank coming in. Actually, Don't Mash Me came in at level 2, and that's going to be pretty scary. He's actually playing a jungle Karthus, so that's going to be first blood for their top lane Jax, and this is looking pretty bad, but they could actually go down here. That's going to be a bit of a trade, so he does take out Don't Mash Me for that kill. Luckily, though, it is another one for, I guess Mash Me got that kill, didn't he? Because the buffs were not traded out. So yeah, it looks like Mash Me got that kill, Jax got the first blood, so no buff trade there, unfortunately for the top laner, which is what would have been ideal in any case. So jungle Karthus, like, it may sound kind of like a troll, but I've seen it several times, and it actually is kind of effective. His slow is so incredibly large that it makes it fairly easy for the laner and Karthus himself to actually get up there, and he does a lot of damage. Now, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to farm it up as much as possible like he would if he was in the mid lane, which is one of the things that can help Karthus get extremely fed. But I'm curious to see how it's going to work out in such a high elo match overall. It's pretty funny. So I don't know if that's actually what he was planning on doing from the beginning, or if Kenny, I was like, screw you, man, I'm going to play Leblanc mid, and he was like, okay, fine, I'll just be jungle then. Who knows? Never know what happens in these queue chats. I know sometimes these high elo people, they like to kind of troll around and mess with each other, but either way, this is going to be a pretty interesting match. Obviously, you already got a first blood for the Jax, so it's not like it's super bad or anything like that. And here we go, a little bit of action coming up top lane. The odd one coming in to help out with the gank from Lee Sin, and if he does land that Q, he does land the Q. It's going to be bad for Blitzcrank. Shield going to help save him just a little bit. Flash being used by Afromoo, so they will survive, but not before taking a lot of damage in return. And here comes Kenikth. He's going to try and finish something off. He wants to go on to Kenikth, and he will take the kill. So already a lot of action happening up here, and that gank actually turned out to be not so successful for purple. Came out ahead, and oh wow, looks like Gant is actually going to be coming down. Can they get a kill on the Leona? That ignite is just barely enough. The odd one picks a kill on the Afromoo. Afromoo gets a special from that ignite, and this is looking pretty sexy though. A lot of fight going on here on the bottom lane, so that's 2 for each side from what I can tell. And I'm guessing this is going to be what, an AP Tristana? Is that what I'm looking at? No, wait, is she's not bottom lane, is she? Yeah, obviously she's not. So she's actually AD mid Tristana. Very interesting, and obviously, you know, singed up top. So really a lot of kind of meta breaking stuff going on here. If people play mid Tristana, normally they're just kind of messing around. They do that AP Tristana, which, I mean, it's really good at killing single targets, but it's not as strong late game because it kind of falls off. It looks like, okay, you kill one target and then you don't have much more to offer. Jax here doing some good work against Singed, and if he can continue to poke like that, then it's going to be a pretty good deal. Well, overall, once Singed gets a couple of his items built up, actually he's going for Gulper 5, so normally you would see Singed go for a Catalyst. In this case, he's going to go for a Philosopher's Stone and just work on farming up and getting late game strong, and that's okay. So he's going to be a pretty big issue for their team. I know that Mash Me, he's probably just going to be working on running into the middle of everybody and standing there with his, you know, he's like, okay, go ahead, kill me. I'm going to be alive, still doing damage for a little bit of a time with my AoE abilities. And here is a nice little gank coming in. Either that or he's going to be counter-juggling, but I think the odd one wants to come in for a nice little dive from behind. If he can land a Q onto Jax and then jump in, that's going to be a sick tower dive. He is only level 5. If he was 6, this would be even better. But yeah, it looks like this is gonna pay off for him. If he could just get in there, he just needs to land it. And there it is. Boom! Here comes the execute, but he's in big damage from that turret. So unfortunately, he did get stunned in there and gave that kill to Jax. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. But it will be actually kind of bad for Jax since he's going to be losing like these 2 waves of creeps here, and so that's not fun at all. Whereas he's also going to lose some damage on the turret. Good stuff overall. Nice gank. Let's take a look down bottom. He's going to be doing as much damage with those little boomerangs as possible. I do love Draven. He's like one of my favorite carries. He's not necessarily played as much as I would like to see, but I'm actually excited that Aphromoo is playing him this game so that I can actually take a look at someone who is a little more serious, somebody who's higher elo playing him and giving him a shot. So now he can do a ton of damage late game. You get a couple of those boomerangs going, you're doing so much extra damage, and then you start critting with your Infinity Edge. He doesn't have the longest. Oh man, if that would have landed, that would have been kind of bad and scary. Actually, this is bad in general, just because now Mage is in a bad position. Yeah, that was a nice gank coming in from the odd one. He came in at the perfect time and took them out. I mean, they've been pushing up this lane this whole time, so it's a good. He's been coming on with some good ganks. Like, he's not even coming from the bush. He literally just walks in from the turret and he's making stuff happen. Looks like that blue buff is going to be giving to Kenikth there, so it's going to help him out just to spam a few abilities. I don't necessarily know if Tristana would need it as much as other AP mid carries, but this is going to help her just shoot out as much as possible, probably shove out the lane, and you know, that can help out. So I'm curious, if I've never really seen much AD mid Tristana since back in the day when, you know, all you would see is AD mid. So it's kind of interesting to actually see that. Oh, that was a nice gank. Ottawa coming in here, flashes in, kicks him back away from the turret. Aphromoo can definitely fall there. Nice pull. That is going to give a 1-for-1 trade, though the odd one does pay for that. And unfortunately, though, it was Mage. Well, actually, who got the kill there? I don't know who got the kill. Oh, Smurf getting killed actually up top. Let me go ahead and switch back to that. I want to see that. All right, so looks like Jax is trying to hang out here. Is a little bit low HP and just doesn't want to lose the XP and gold and just runs straight into it. So that was a really silly play. Gets exhausted and he's going to fall down. So overall, just kind of a bad play on his part. I'm not sure what he was going for. Kenikth now in trouble, getting binded by Kenny and knocked back. So he should be able to survive there. But I don't know, if Kenny knocks over the wall here, he could potentially go. Oh, there's the ultimate. Oh, it just barely not enough damage. That health pot might have just saved him. I'm actually not sure if that's what it was, but either way, Kenikth barely getting away there, very close. And Singe doing his little dick move here where he runs past the turret and lets the creeps kind of whittle it down while he gets free farm there, easy mode, and that's a pretty sexy way to do it. There's not many other champions that can do that, at least as safely as Singed. So Kenikth here from behind wants to come in and dive this. He sees Mashmi is kind of low. I'm curious if he's going to get the kill. He's going to do a lot of damage. There goes the Ignite, and he is going to grab it. Not even any trade for... Okay, he like gets one little poke. There's the knockup. Can Aphromoo get in there to do some damage before he flashes over the wall? It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Oh, he has his flash up too, so this could be really bad. Kenikth does get a kill, but not before paying with his life, giving 3 people an assist there. Actually 4 maybe. In fact, I think they kill him fast enough. Karthus might have gotten an assist on that one, so... so that was actually definitely better for blue team, but still a valiant effort by Kenikth. Really sick job there. If Draven had not had his flash up, he might have gotten away. I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Kenny would have grabbed that kill too. In any case, this dragon is up and it's ready to be contested. I want to see who is going to grab the first dragon. You can tell they're pinging this. They're warding it. They want to make sure they grab the first dragon. Both teams want that. This ward is about to be expired. You can tell. I do like the new little UI elements they added on top of those. Cool thing about Riot, man, they're always improving the game. Just these small things, always improving the game. Really good to see. Let's take a look here. The odd, we're going to pick up his red buff. Looking to gank here soon, I imagine. He hasn't put a lot of effort on the top lane other than that one gank there. Hasn't really needed to. A lot of that has been on the bottom lane, and it's working out for them since they have been pushing. Obviously, that's kind of just the easier spot for him to work it out. And there's a missed grab by Xpecial. Not going to make anything happen, but Mage taking tons of damage as he was in there for a little bit more of a considerable amount of time, and they didn't really trade too much from that either. Here comes the odd one. He does have his red buff, like I said, and he has been focused in the bottom lane. Continues to hold true, doesn't land that Q after he saw that coming and had plenty of time to react to that as well. Let's see the odd one now, knowing that they're probably going to back off. They are a little bit low HP, so that gives him a chance to go ahead and start on that dragon. Will he be able to grab that? It's actually kind of risky with this fight happening on bottom now. I'm not sure if Mage is going to be able to hold up. He's going to get exhausted. That's going to be one more auto attack, and will he fall? Bam! There it is. Kenikth is going to grab that kill, but not before Aphromoo picks up his own, and nice ultimate. Kenikth grabs that kill. Mashmi going to come in here and pick up one more. Actually, Kenny grabs that. Was that an auto attack or a Q? I don't know. Either way, this is going to be really bad for the odd one. Can he make it out of this? Good! Good God, that burst. And all we need is just an ultimate from Mashme, but he has no mana. That is just too unfortunate. Kenny is going to be able to make it happen. He just needed those cooldowns. Right now, this is looking pretty sexy. I just got done playing with a Leblanc on my team in a ranked game before this match, and she just completely demolished. It looks like Leblancs all around the world doing work on people. So I'm curious to see if that's just a kind of a coincidence or if that's going to be a new trend. I know that Reginald can definitely be happy about that one. He's a big LeBlanc player. I'd like to see him play some LeBlanc now after the changes. Anyways, this is a different game. We're not worried about that right now. So let's take a look at this farm here. Kenikth, what are you up to, man? 97, doing really well. He's actually doing just as well as the Singed is top lane. Middle here, we've got LeBlanc farming. You know, she's actually not too far behind as far as I'm concerned. And Draven 60 compared to... yeah, I don't know. They're pretty much even in all the lanes, so it's really not a huge... I was trying to find a discrepancy in farm somewhere, but everyone's fairly even in farm, and right now the kills are the exact same. No one's grabbed the dragon, so this is a very close game. And here's a dive onto the bottom lane. Looks like Mage all by himself. Xpecial was able to take out Aframu, and now with 3 people there, Mage is in big trouble. Mashme gonna try and come and help out, but I just don't see what he can do at this point. He might actually be able to take out Kenikth. Okay, Kenikth is dead. Nice, one last auto attack from Mashme. Makes sure that he is the one who secures that kill. That is the person you want to give those kills to, especially since he doesn't have that mid lane farm. He's going to be relying on that jungle and kills to really get himself fed. Right now he's got himself a Tear of the Goddess built up, Sword Boots, and if he can start to get those big late game mage caster items, then we should really see some sexy action, especially with 2 AP mages in the game doing so much burst damage. That's what I'm definitely, you know, saying they're going to have to watch out for, especially going into late game. If they can make that happen, then it's going to be really difficult. But with a Tristana and a Graves, they have considerable AD damage late game potential. And there's a stun. Wow, Smurf going to go down so quickly. Nice little stun from RMB, baiting that one out. And it's good that we see Kenny roaming around and really taking advantage of the mistakes of the enemy. This tower will be fallen, though, unfortunately, for that kill. So you could potentially say maybe not worth it, but I don't know if he would have defended it in any case. And Kenikth's doing pretty well, so he's already got himself, let's see, 3 Dorans, but he's going for that early game advantage. Kenny going to try and farm down as much as he can, kill all these creeps where possible. And there is the first dragon. Looks like it will be going to the odd one. I don't know if there's going to be anyone contesting this. They don't actually have vision of it, so I don't see them actually stopping him from making that happen. And looks like Mashme will be grabbing that blue buff and or possibly giving it to Kenny at this point. Yeah, there we go. The odd one grabs that one all by himself. No problem. Guess let's just take a break. I don't think I've stopped talking this entire time, and that's okay because this has been a really exciting game. Haven't actually casted one this great in a long while. So here we go, the odd one. Once again, being a butthead on this bottom lane, just continually forcing them to be on their toes. And now with Kenikth down there, they got to be really careful. That's 4-man bottom. They've already grabbed the dragon, so let's see if they can actually force down this turret and make it happen. They haven't taken anything for blue side yet, whereas they've already lost 2 turrets of their own. And here we go, Mage gonna be coming in here. He wants to get a nice little knock up on the Kenikth. Can he get the grab? It shouldn't be too hard, but a nice flash makes sure that it doesn't happen. So nicely timed. That is the thing, you have to just know when your opponent is going to go for those abilities. If you can flash over it, a skill shot, something like that, then you have a really good chance of making that happen rather than just randomly flashing just because you know someone's coming. So really well played. And the odd one doing his best to kind of force everyone out of position. He's going to come in here looking for blue buffs, looking for an opportunity to strike on somebody who's low health. He is coming now behind RMB without his turret here. He's not as strong, so unfortunately Singed not going to be there. Singed just working on farming. Like I said, he is building up for that late game. He did go for those gold per 5 items. And so, well, I guess he just went for 1, obviously, but that's all he really needs since he can farm so well. 131. It's going to put him at just a little bit more than Tristana. So yeah, they are actually pulling ahead on the farm. Purple team doing a really great job. Mage now needs to be careful. He's all by himself, not landing that grab, which even if he had done so, well, with Kenny there, yeah, he probably would have destroyed Kenikth. I was thinking that was Aframu that was right there. But they're going to go ahead and pick up this bottom turret. Really need to grab that. They need that global gold. They've already lost the dragon, and they've lost out on 2 towers. Looks like Smurf here is being a really strong opponent now for RMB, as once he grabbed that Rod of Ages, he became so much tougher. He does so much damage with his poison, and he can shove this in. There's not much that Jax can really do about that. Let's take a look at Jax's farm. In fact, 83 to 140, so he's really getting hurt so bad by getting shoved into his turret like this continually. So Kenikth is not doing too bad himself. He's easily able to jump in there and farm. He's got a little bit of a leap to get out of a bad situation. On top of that, in case he's in a bad situation. So Smurf here, if he gets ganked for any reason, he's literally just got his ultimate. He can run out of there, toss people back, use his poison. So it's really difficult to actually gank him. Bottom lane, they've had the support of the odd one. I'd say they've got really good synergy here on this team, and it's going to be really difficult for Blue to come back from this. Even though they're even on kills and everything like that, I can just tell by the way the game is going that it's going to take a really big play from Blue team to actually get back into this, because Purple is really destroying these guys. And that's just kind of my personal opinion on how things are going right now, but we're going to have to wait and see if that holds true. I mean, it could come down to, say, a Baron fight where Purple team is feeling really confident, and then they come in there, Kenny just destroys somebody instantly, and then you've got, you know, the stakes have turned completely around. So it is that close that it could come around, but if they don't make an aggressive play and make it turn around soon, they're gonna just slowly lose any you know, any semblance of being even anymore, and it's gonna be all in Purple team's favor to lose the game at that point. Let's take a look here. Finally getting that BF sword, so she is getting fairly strong here. Boots of mobility on Blitzcrank. He really wants to get in there and make something happen with a grab. There's a slow wall from Karthus, but it doesn't look like they're getting a full engage. Mage getting completely destroyed before he can make anything happen, not even using any abilities. Kenikth grabs the kill there. Kenikth grabbing Kenikth though, as he does have that huge burst. Match Me will fall here indeed. The odd one picking up the kill onto him, and Kenny now trying to get away. Gonna go ahead and use his dash over the wall. Should be safe, but it is gonna be actually kind of hard to continue that escape. Let's see. He's going to stand in the bush, wait for a chance to happen. Okay, let's go back to the middle lane. Looks like the king got really low after move. Got him really low from those auto attacks, and he actually going to put himself in a bad position. That was a really bad play on his part. I think he thought he can get in range. Now with Kenny here, can he actually double jump? Not going to be a good play. If he does that, he would have died, lost his double buff, so he decides to just back off and not do that. Jax was trying to engage on the auto one, but the auto one's just way too mobile to make that happen. Kenny now going to be in bad position. He's not going to be able to live. The auto one shuts him down. There's the ultimate, and he will pick up the kill. Shuts down that Lee Sin. Will be grabbing the double buff. That was traded nicely. And Smurf here, is he going to flash over the wall? No, he actually just tosses Jax over the wall himself. It's going to be really hard. They're going to need a little bit more damage if they can stun him. This is going to be good. There's the ignite. One more attack, and that is it. It was really close, and it was that tower. Oh, the tower takes him out. That's just unfortunate. He could not get him low enough before getting in the turret range. Took 2 hits, and that was lights out, so that was a nice little trade. But in any case, as you can see, Purple team is pulling ahead. Look at the 31k gold to 27. That is a nice little advantage. They're pulling ahead on that farm, as well as the global gold advantage from towers and the dragons. And so much ward coverage here. Actually, a lot of these wards were done to try and find that Leblanc as she came back. Either way, things are really starting to heat up here in this game, and everyone is kind of grouping up, getting ready for that Baron soon. It's just getting close to that 20-minute mark. Excuse me, I have to cough. So you should start seeing some wards. In fact, there's your first ping. They do say, hey guys, we got to get some wards up there. Let's go ahead and see what kind of action we can force at this Baron area, and they are going to make something happen here. If not, then they could. Oh, can you get the burst damage? If she would have landed that little grab there, she could have potentially finished him off, but with a knife, wow, little lisp there, with a nice little jump, Kenikth was able to make it out. I don't think Dragon's going to be up for a little bit. I didn't get the exact timer on that. Oh, actually it is. I'm sorry, I was wrong about that. I must have calculated that wrong. So here we go. Dragon is up. They do need to make sure that they're a little bit careful. If they go for this dragon, they could potentially lose the opportunity for a Baron. So looks like I don't know. I'm trying to tell what they're doing. They're gonna go ahead and send Afro on the bottom lane to farm a little bit, while everyone else just hangs around the Baron area and make sure that they don't get it grabbed. Oh, look at that damage in there. Taking Kenikth down below half HP and one combo. Gonna force him back to the base. So he's gonna have to heal up. That's gonna give Afro a lot of free farm time. Down here on the bottom, being only level 11, he, well, I guess that's not too far behind, but compared to the solo, yeah, he just wants to farm it up and try and catch up as much as possible. And look at this damage coming in here. Kenny using all of his jukes that he can, and actually especially trying to get a stun on there so that they can get a full engage, but that would have actually been bad since it was just a few of these guys here. They did not have Graves. They did not have Tristana. Wait. Oh, they did have Tristana. I guess she just wasn't that close at the point at which she had landed that ultimate. And there we go. There's another little bit of action. She's using those wards to advantage. If they get a Oracles in here, it's going to make it a lot harder for her to actually go in there and burst them down, such as that. Okay, so no Oracle still, but they do have that purple ward, so they are able to destroy all the vision. This is going to make it a little bit more dangerous for purple team to go back to the base right now. Special has to go back. Looks like he's going to grab some Oracles or wards of his own to try and make that happen, but this is looking really scary if they grab this Baron fast enough before they see it coming. Wow, match me really low. Got to be careful. Then blue team is going to get a nice little lead on them. Yep, now they got that blue buff, or sorry, Baron buff, and they're not caught up on gold. But nice little grab from the Blitz. They're going to be able to take out the auto. No, he flashes over the wall. Either that or he used his shield. I think he used his shield. Yeah, he obviously... No, he flashed. He actually did not use the shield, so his flash is down. That is one summoner used up there. Looks like a couple of summoners are going to be up here really soon for blue team, and they are in a pretty good position for a fight soon. Yeah. Looks like, yeah, it's just the odd one that's down on his flash. So either way, Kenikth, if you can get a nice little combo on a Kenikth, ooh, if that grab would have landed, then Kenny would have comboed him down really quickly. And that damage! The odd one goes down! Kenikth with the great combo. Now with that Baron buff doing so much more damage. And they're going to be able to finally push down this mid turret. Potentially take down a second one if they're quick enough about it. I don't know if they're going to be able to defend this. Right now, Kenny is so strong that it makes it very dangerous for Kenikth, or really for anyone squishy to stay around, as they have so much burst. Like, yes, they have that carry late game potential, but that's really better against tanky teams. With 2 APs on their side, it's very easy for them to run in there and burst both of these guys down. So at this point, they're going to lose that turret. They might even lose another one, and the Kenikth almost going down so fast. Kenny has so much burst damage. He's such a huge threat, and that ultimate from the... Oh, man, he takes him down. Don't mash me. I knew it was going to be enough damage. So he takes down Kenikth with the help of 2 AP carries. Like I said, there's just so much damage potential. Jax falls, getting a little bit further in there, but they are able to take out the turret as well as Kenikth. Smurf here doing some work, but I don't think he's going to be able to stand for very long with that much damage. Afromoo in big trouble. That was a lot of tankiness going in on him. This is actually turning around bad for them. They lost 4 people, only taking out Kenikth and not able to pick up the inhibitor. And now Kenny has just enough mana possibly to jump over the wall. Oh, perfect job, X-Special. And, oh man, I thought he was going to get flipped back right there. If he had gotten that flip off, then Kenny would have been in a really bad position. But at this point, I think he's going to be good to go. All he needs to do is get a slow with that Riley Scepter. It'd be very difficult for Kenny to get away. So, I don't know. He doesn't look like he's ult. He really wants to make this happen here. He knows that if he can get the kill, but he's not going to. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Woo, my voice. I got to give me a drink of water. Hang on. This game is really coming down to the wire right now. They've got the Baron buff. Of course, unfortunately, they don't have it anymore since they all died there. They potentially could have just jumped back after they got that turret. It might have been better for them to kind of back off. They get a little bit too cocky, and they were like, hey, we're kicking butt here. But they needed to take a look at those timers of res and realize they're low on their mana, on their cooldowns, and they needed to just kind of back off with what they had. Getting 3 turrets like that was a great play for them, on top of getting that Baron as well. So definitely a really good position for them to be in right now. And it looks like Afro actually picking up a different item than I'm used to seeing on a carry. He went for the Brutalizer, which I'm not sure what his plan is with that one right there. I mean, that's potentially because they have 2 AD carries. He knows, well, these guys are going to be squishy. And when you have flat armor pen, that's actually a lot stronger against people who don't build armor, whereas you want the percentage armor pen whenever you're playing against tankier teams. So that could be his reasoning behind that. I don't know if that is necessarily his exact reasoning. Could be his cooldown reduction. Maybe he just wants to be able to use his Q more often in team fights. A lot of times it's easy to get that Q going when you're farming creeps, but when you're in a team fight and you're trying to juke back and forth, the thing will kind of shoot off in random directions that you don't want to run to catch it, so it's actually really hard to keep it going, and possibly that's his thinking on that one. I don't know. Those are just my ideas. I'm not Afromoo, so I don't know exactly. But either way, I'm sure both of those reasonings are solid. So here we go. Jax did a good job. He pushed out the top lane, and right now they're going to be kind of grouping up in the mid, not pushing out too far. They don't have wards, so they don't want to push past this point right here without being too dangerous. And damn, that damage. The odd one here does have a little bit of the Hex Trigger built up. If he can go for that Mob Mortius, it's going to help him out a lot against the burst that Kenny is able to actually, you know, put out. And let's see. Wow, no full items built here for Kenikth yet. So it looks like he was doing okay in the bottom lane, but I mean, he's got 5 kills, 133 CS. Not the best CS necessarily, but nor does Draven. But Draven's already got himself an Infinity as well as Brutalize. And Kenikth just kind of went for Zeal, BF Sword. He's going to be going for, I guess, the... I'm curious. I think he's actually going to go for Infinity. I don't think he's going to build up his... Let me see what his gold at. Yeah, see, he's got plenty of gold. He's going for an Infinity Edge. I knew he was definitely saving up for it. So since he went for that Zeal first, that's why he doesn't have his Infinity Edge first. But once he grabs that Infinity Edge, he's going to be doing a lot more work than he was before. Okay, they're doing their best. They want to take out this inhib, but they need to be careful. Jack's taking a ton of damage. So much action coming in there from that Infinity Edge from Zekent. And here it is, Mashme getting really low. He's using that damage suppressor to stop anything from happening. And he's not actually falling yet. And there's the kill. RMB picking it up onto Zekent. They have a lot of burst in the back lane as well as the AP carries. And there's the ultimate from Mashme. Will be getting a little bit of damage off, not actually killing one from that, but they do end up taking the inhib, so it's a definite win. They lose 2 for 2 and grab an inhibitor on top of that. So great play. Now they're going to be going for that top lane. They can most likely grab that, as looks like purple team, they're kind of just going back to the base to heal it up. And once they grab this first tower, they probably want to back off, though. I don't see it being smart for them to stick around. I think with them, let's see, I'm pretty sure that Baron is going to be up fairly soon, so they need to get back, grab their wards, grab oracles if necessary, or at least a pink ward, and get ready to go ahead and pick up that next Baron. With their health like this is really dangerous. They are really pushing it. Mage can get bursted down so fast from Kenikth. He's got Ignite, he's got his ult, but looks like they are going to go ahead and continue pushing in. And there's the burst. Kenikth could go down. There's the nice grab, and it just needed a little bit more damage, but it's not going to be happening. The odd one actually picks up Kenikth just a little bit too great. And Aframu going to go down. That's a double kill for Lee Sin. And now with the Baron coming up soon, this is very scary. Like, I knew it was definitely a risk for them to go for that, but I don't think they needed to make that risk. They were in a pretty good position as it was, and I don't know, it would have been a really sick play if they had gotten Kenikth, but overall they just got baited and lost that fight. 2 kills for Lee Sin. Of course, he does kind of fall off a little bit late game, but with 11 kills, that's less falling off and more just doing a lot of damage at this point. If he had more of a regular score, then he wouldn't be as strong, but right now he's just very powerful, and he's doing a ton of damage to their team as long as he's landing those Qs and executing people. Alright, so Baron didn't actually come up within that fight. I was actually afraid that Baron would come up right after they died there, but they've got it timed, so at this point everyone is back up. They're not going to be able to sneak a free Baron out of that, and so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Either way, though, I think that this next fight is going to be very critical. And there it is. So Baron is up. They've got their ward there. Purple team does. No wards for blue team yet. They're all going to be going as a team. They know they're strong enough. Right now, it's really cool because they've got Jax to go in, jump on from behind. He can take out either Zekent or Graves, doing a lot of damage to them. They're going to go straight onto that, using a ward from behind, taking out the coverage that they have. Purple team not even there. They're not even there. They have no idea. I mean, I guess they have an idea, obviously, but they just didn't time that very well or something. But they were all back at base, every single one of them except for the odd one. So the odd one's like, come on, guys, what the hell's going on? Everyone else like, I don't know, I'm buying items. So really kind of a bad play by Purple team. I mean, they had a lot of time to position themselves and make sure that blue did not grab that. And they were doing really good in the early game, but now they're in a bad position. They've lost their inhibitor, they've gotten pushed down, and blue's gotten very strong at this point. So that power struggle has kind of shifted in the favor, and a lot of that, I have to say, I had to give a lot of credit to Kenny. He's doing so much burst damage and just completely chunking people's HP down, and then Jax going in there, cleaning up. They've also got Aframu doing big damage. Mashme can sit in there in the middle of everybody. Wow! He's gonna fall! Is he gonna fall? Boom! And Mashme grabs the kill. What a nasty combo, that double AB action, and Zekent almost falling as well. They just can't do anything. Now they're gonna get Tower Dove. Mage actually tanking this turret for a little bit for his team, and he knew just how long to stay in there before he went down. RMB still alive here, will dive to the flip from Singe. Mashme might even die to the poison there. Looks like one more tick could do it, but not enough. Smurf there grabbing that one, but they are gonna go ahead and pick up another inhibitor and then back themselves up here. They need to be careful. Look at all these HP pulls. Smurf he's just drilling in the mouth right now. He's like, I want to get a kill! Woo! And this could be a nice little bait there. They're just kiting him back and forth. Mashme getting stuck in the poison there, but it's not enough. Oh, it is enough. It is enough. So so he does grab a kill, but there's the ace, and overall they grab that second inhibitor, and this is looking pretty sick for them. I think this game is going to be over really soon. They've already lost 2 inhibitors. Their second tower is about to fall, and by their second, I mean their Nexus turret is about to fall. Oh my god, Kenikth! What the hell, buddy? He just kind of ran out. What was he doing? I guess he was hoping he can grab a kill on Mage. That was a sick bait. And their base is really taking a beating there. Luckily, they didn't actually lose that. They were able to finish off the creeps, but they lost a turret here instead to the creeps. This is looking really, really bad. I mean, they're still ahead on kills. That's the funny thing. But overall, with all the global gold advantage that blue team has and how strong they are, especially with Kenikth and the combo of Mash Me, god dang, dude, that is so nasty. Every single time he jumps on the Kenikth and chunks his HP, boom, there's ultimate from Mash Me. That instantly goes to a 4v5. All they gotta do is wait just a little tiny bit for Kenny's cooldowns to come back up, and damn, you're done. Nothing they can do. This is like a mouth-watering combo of amazing sexiness. You know, I was talking about, I don't know, we'll see how viable this Karthus action is, and it definitely worked out in their favor this game. He got tons of farm, actually. Look at that. He has more farm than anyone else in the game from the jungle. More farm than anyone else in the game from the jungle. So that worked out really well. And I'm talking about on his team. Obviously, Singed and Tristana were doing really well, but respectively. Okay, let's see how the odd one does. One-on-one versus Jax. Oh, actually, it's not one-on-one. It's like Zekent is here, but now everyone else coming around behind. This is going to be a nice little bait. Now they're on the run from behind. It's going to be them two versus 4 people. And this is going to be sick. There is the grasp. Zekent going to go down. Bam! You're done, son. Aphromoo grabbing the kill with an auto attack. And there's going to be one last inhibitor to take down. And they're going to go ahead and clean this up. I don't see this game lasting very much longer at all. And there we go. Looks like Mashmi going to be one-on-one versus the Leona, being able to take a lot of damage, but not for very long. Looks like the Nip just respawned just in time to die again. And third one going to fall here. There it is. This is going to be GG, and a very well played game by both sides. Blue had a huge, I said purple started to pull out a nice little advantage early on, but just a couple of mistakes here and there and bad team fights gave blue the advantage. And overall, really great game, and I definitely love that combo, man. This Kenny plus Mash Me, double AP, one jungle, one mid combo was just completely terrifying. I mean, you used to see the AP top, AP mid. Is this a new meta? I don't know. Not many APs can actually do jungle, only Karthus. Maybe Fiddlesticks, but not as well. And so either way, it was definitely a fun game to watch. A little bit of a mix-up than what you're used to seeing and a lot of the standard matchups. So really cool deal. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. Please hit that like button if you want to see some more pro game commentaries and you know, support these guys. I'll see you around for the next one. This is Kobe Cheese. Peace out.